Hi there, everyone. This is Sharon for another Conscious Sharing moment. And so remember to like and share, remember to subscribe because, when it comes to these conscious sharing moments, they are spontaneous. And sometimes in life, we do not know the timing of anything. And so this is kind of like a little way of helping with that, and where you can look forward to something not knowing when it's going to happen. However, when you turn on the notifications, you will know. The other thing is, remember, these conscious sharing moments are life hacks. There are things that can resonate, aha moments, like things that make you go But if anything, there are things that you can think about, contemplate, and integrate into your life. It's kind of one of those things. If it resonates with you, use it. If it doesn't, then I know it can resonate with someone that you know. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And so let's get on with our topic for today is investments. When I think about this is, how do you invest in yourself? One thing that I can say is that I would say, like when it comes to the self-care arena, when someone hears that, it's like, oh, but what does that mean? It means different things to different people. The main thing for Sharon and what I am giving out to the world is that so that you can take care of yourself in so many different ways. Because one thing that I realized, even within myself, I may have had some practices along with life. Sometimes it was definitely on a conscious level. I know I talked about this before in the past, in which, previously it was more the physicals, like going to the gym, going to the gym. I say it like that because I'm like, wait a minute. It was more so going to the gym for aerobics. I call it my aerobics days. So I definitely had that practice. And so it's always have been on the physical. It really wasn't more on the emotional or the mental part, not intentionally. Now, don't get me wrong. When it came to, exercising on the physical, it's going to help you because it definitely helped with my sleep. It helped with my mood and my energy level and all of that, because your energy level impacts your ability to do things. But my whole point is being more intentional about investing. Again, you've heard me say it before. When it came to personal development, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I don't need that. I have good self esteem, I have good confidence. So I thought. There are things lurking in our subconscious. It's limited beliefs that we have, and those limited beliefs, most of the time, they're not conscious, but we may move in that way. Now, that's one thing I discovered about myself, and I'm pretty sure you guys may do it too. Because I know with me, and I'm like, well, I don't think that way. But when I look at myself behaviorally, yes. And so that's another reason to really invest in personal development and self development, self help groups. And to read, to listen to podcasts. Because that's the other thing. By me listening to podcasts or YouTube videos, this is how I was able to discover certain things about myself. I was in a life coaching training. This is how I really start going within myself. So, like, oh, so what do I need healing from? And also in being in community, it's like, like for myself, I am one, I would say I can be on the quiet side in groups until I get a little comfortable. Now, this is a small group setting. But what I'm saying is that being in a support group, going to retreats, but just by listening to others, you can discover things about yourself. It's like when I truly discover my true gifts. I was in a Reiki training, and I was like, oh, I've done some of those things. I discovered one, what I need healing from in that class, in that training, also, but what my gifts are, what magnificent parts of myself. And so this is why we need to invest in ourselves so that we can, the main thing is, it's not to find out what's wrong with us, is to release, let go, purge, detox, all of the stuff that may be holding us back that we may not even know. but also so that we can shine. That's the whole purpose of investing in ourselves. The other piece of it, in investing in ourselves, we say we want to leave a legacy. We say we want to have wealth. But again, just like anything else in life, what are you doing? What are we doing to make that happen? What kind of investment? And when I say the investment, yes, you're going to have the money investment, even when it comes to taking care of yourself, even when it comes to like going into retreat and things like that. My whole point is being intentional and reading a book and watching a video and having conversations. Are we having $1 million conversations among our friends, among our family? That's one thing I realized. Oh, we all have a lot of gifts, but we're not talking about our gifts and how we can shine and how we can. It's not again about the amount of money that you're making, but it's how to get to the money. Are you having those conversations? How can you use your gifts to support you? What can you do? And then what can you invest in? I know I have a few friends like from high school, and I'm like, okay, y'all didn't have these conversations with me. You know what I'm saying? Along the way. And, of course, we know that along the way, when it comes to life, you kind of lose contact. So that's part of it. But generally, in our conversations, we're not talking about money matters, and let that be a part. There's no shame of where you are, because the more, I put it like this: whatever we don't talk about, don't get talked about. So we don't grow, we don't expand. And then you know that you can't talk to certain people about those things. Don't find a group of people, find someone, but it's usually better. And when I say in group, just meaning in a community, to be able to allow yourself to be connected with those individuals, because the more that you expose yourself, the more you expand, the more you grow, the more you get out of your comfort level, because a lot of times we become complacent. I realize that among myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm going to do, but then haven't done, because I haven't always been expanding myself, especially when it comes to the finances. When it comes to the finances, yeah, I definitely, pretty much like this, monitor my debt, but I wasn't doing anything when it came to the asset. So how can you really build wealth if you're not building your asset? And so in saying all of that, when it comes to sharing, when it comes to self-care, it's about taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially. So definitely visit my website so that you can set up an appointment with me, a discovery call, so that you can find out how you can transform your life, when it comes to self-care, mentally, emotionally, and even financially. Because one thing I've learned about finances is that what we don't know, we don't know. And to really build legacy and to build that wealth and to get ourselves out of debt and to have more financial freedom is to educate, educate, educate. So be open to listening. Because in order to have choices, you need to know what you're having choices from. So again, thank you for listening to this conscious sharing moment.